Da 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 da! What's my good cheer? Welcome, everybody. Let's give YouTube a couple of minutes to get those notifications out. And in the meantime, if you've never popped into one of my lives before, hi, I'm Cindy. I explore the inside and the outside. And I am grateful to be able to do my live show tonight and know that I have made a little bit of movement forward, right? I could make the choice to quit, but I'm not one sorry, I'm just going to release that there. I'm not one for giving up. So this morning, right, I went right back to it, right, with a nice fresh attitude, with some rest and a good cup of coffee. And I said, okay, well, let's just give this another shot. And I gave my editor another shot, and I went in and I went into my settings and I says, everything that I can give Google default permission for, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And I went in there and I gave every permission to Google. And you know what? It worked. It worked. I don't know if it had anything to do with that, but I sure did give some thank yous and some gratefuls when I saw that my YouTube was taking the upload. I was very excited, very happy. If you haven't seen the video, I think it's day number 2 or day number 3. We are exploring Quantico Provincial Park, and it's a 40-minute video. But go in, watch it. Let me know, comment. Let me know what kind of ideas you have about this kind of content that I put out. Because, this is a vacation that I put together every single year when we talk about balance, because balance is the topic this week. It's making sure that I'm rewarding myself. And, my vacation that I put together every single September, that is the reward for the hard work that I put in. And some years I work harder, I think, than other years. But at the same time, it's not a matter of, um, um, denying denying anybody or refusing myself, being the judge on myself to say, oh my goodness, you didn't work hard enough, right? You didn't get that right, and remember, you failed doing that. No, I reward the effort. And I have to say, I put quite a bit of effort in there, and I went a little bit further in the effort than really I think probably I wanted to. But because I gave it another shot, right? I put a little bit extra effort in. I allowed those right, disappointing emotions because I wasn't getting it. I was allowing that frustration, but at the same time, those gave me moments to practice my craft, practice some of those lessons, right? In calming down my system, because I know that I don't get anything. I don't make any movement at all. If I'm stumbling over myself, or I'm frazzled, or I'm triggered, right? And it's not like I don't get triggered anymore. I just more quickly realize that it's a trigger and then handle it accordingly. But those all came from the lessons, and they help me to be balanced in what I'm doing, because sometimes, it was frustrating, right? But I would take frustrating over scary or frightening or heartbreaking, right? Or full of grief, 100%. And there are people out there who are living those moments at this moment. So who am I to be grumbling about a lesson that in the end is going to, right, serve me very well and serve me well in this moment? Because again, taking that stress when I don't have those answers, when I push myself a little bit harder instead of giving up when I don't get it, push a little bit harder and to finally realize something and learn something, and it alleviates that stress of not having the answer or being afraid to try, because I did it this time and it worked, right? And I have more lessons. I've got it down packed. It's like that quad. I've practiced it so many times now. Something that was super difficult is not so difficult. So when we talk about that balance, we have to take care of or take some of these things under consideration, which is in the experience that we have, like a resume, right? When you go to get a job and you have your interview, of course the employer's going to be interested, right, in you more as a potential employer or employee if you have all this different kind of experience that might relate to the job that they're looking to fill, right? But if you didn't have those experiences, right? If you didn't have those crappy McDonald jobs, and they got construction out there, and those are the construction guys. They're having lots of fun in the work that they're doing, but they're guarding the concrete, right? We live in this world, even when I was a kid, handprints and write our names in the concrete. But with the way the world's been going, and in the intent that people do to ruin people's hard work, they're going to carry on, I think, for most of the night, because it's already snowing, and this is a big job that they're doing on the street in front of us, and they've got to get it done because it's not going to be more than a few more days, and we're going to have some snow. I can feel it. I can feel that crispness in the air. And yet, just a few days ago, right, we weren't even wearing sweaters. They were even people wearing shorts outside. But that's how quickly the weather changes here. We'll be going into that cold weather, that minus 40 below, right? It's not going to be fun, but it is what it is, and we can grumble and complain, and we can shut ourselves up in the house and, right, really have a good taste of seasonal depression, or you can bite it and, right, get out there and delve into it. I love my evening walks in the wintertime. You can always put more clothes on. In the summertime, there's only a certain amount of clothes that you can take off before you're, right, not presentable to the world. But in the wintertime, just put on those layers. The colder it gets, just put on more layers, and you can just, right, it's just as comfy in my snowsuit, my winter jacket as it is, right, in my apartment with the heat uh, rung right up there, right? Okay, so when we were talking about balance, in the past few weeks, right? I'm not technically inclined. And for lots of people, that would be good enough reason to say, oh, let's give up on YouTube, right? Right? Let's give up on YouTube. What are you talking about? It's part of the learning process. And like I said yesterday, right? It's only unknown until it's known, right? And now that maybe, because I said this last week, so we're just going to do a maybe instead of a for sure back up and running. But I think I figured it out, and I got out of the cloud, and oh, that was just a total headache. And I don't like being like, when I say all the time that with the media, everybody's vying for our attention. Everybody is vying for our attention, right? And the media, they'll generate their own entertainment in order to hook people, right? But where I was going to go with that was that idea. I have no idea where I was going to go with that. It just totally slipped out of my mind. Just totally slipped out of my mind. Okay, so let's pull it back to the main branch. I just got home from work. I made myself a cup of coffee. Actually, I forgot I bought a cup of coffee. And then I made a cup of coffee and it's sitting on my desk too hot to drink anyway. And because I invested money, right, at a coffee shop for my coffee, I'm going to drink this one, even though it's not quite as hot as the one on my desk. But that's okay. We're not wasting, right? So getting back to this idea, pulling it in for balance, for most part of my life, I really considered myself not balanced. Like somehow being an obese child was contagious to the brain, and it affected the brain, and right. But that wasn't the case, right? That sense of not being balanced came from the projections and in that self-consciousness that I had. And it wasn't in actual fact in any way. And growing up, I kind of learned, and it was also instilled in us, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything at all. And so I did spend a lot. It's not like I wanted to say not nice things, right? But it just seems so much easier not to speak at all and just to keep what I was thinking and keeping those ideas and thoughts inside of my head and never truly experience or expressing them in any way, right? But at the same time, noticing how different I was, right? That everybody out there, except for me, just seemed to be expressing themselves. And it was something that I was very comfortable doing within my own household, right? But that's that closeness, right? That's that knowing each other. That's that hyper vigilant and knowing how each of us moves and how each of us reacts. That when you're actually outside of the household, it became very, very, very difficult because I spent so much time just within my own family. Even as a child, right? I didn't have many friends, right? I didn't have any very many friends. And we can look at that, we can beat ourselves up. And I remember, thinking that, right, I wasn't right, that things were not settled and balanced. And I look at my family and see that everybody was so different, and it was right, it was nothing, we just accepted that everybody was so different, but we didn't think it was anything strange. And yet I thought this way about myself, right? I felt this and I always did, and it carried on. And yes, some of it was projection, some of it was projection, but in the end, I really didn't need anybody to tell me that I wasn't good enough or I wasn't smart enough, or right, that I had issues, because I was telling myself this, right? And it was something slowly, because I was able along the way to be able to pick up friends who I really felt, because being highly sensitive and being empathic, right, we get genuine, we feel it, we want to be around it, because there's nothing worse than being around something that's not genuine, because you can't predict what's not genuine, because that's just a mask. It's like the AI was funny, because I know I'm trailing off a lot, but that's the end of my day, right? Tomorrow we'll do a live during the day, but you're getting what you're getting, right? I put a lot of energy into my day, and I don't mean to show up here without the same kind of energy. And I believe still that I am, because I'm holding into my own accountability to actually be here, because it's important for me to show up every single day fresh like a loaf of bread. So I'm here, but it's not that I'm here because I have to be. I'm here because I want to be, right? I do want to be, but it doesn't change, right? I am pooped, and I can, in my own reflection and being uh paying attention to how I'm, right, showing up today, that I can see, right? I can see with my own eyes that, right, it's not fully, but I'm here, right? And I'm here. And maybe that is working into this conversation that we're supposed to be having on balance, right? But sometimes we mistake, right, those limitations that we have as something terribly wrong with us, right? That, right? For the most part of my young adulthood, right, I really, really did believe that there was something fundamentally wrong with me, right? Not understanding that, that I was listening and I was believing in people who just seemed so sure of what they were talking about, right? Even if they were talking about me, that I believed them because, well, you honor thy mother, thy father, right? The the people who were saying these things were surrounded by beautiful, smart people, right? Had lots of friends, all of them standing around them, nodding their heads, and oh, yeah, she's right, right? Or joining in on that conversation. So it doesn't take much. It's kind of like in that, what was it? It was in the 70s or early Stockholm syndrome. Remember that lady who got kidnapped, and she was held hostage in a oh, some kind of right-wing group or something like that. And she actually became friends and confidence and felt really close and started to believe in their ideas, and she actually joined them. This is kind of the same idea, right? That because, when you're around it for so long, right, it doesn't, well, sometimes it does take a long time, but that kind of effort to make sure, right, that you felt that way about yourself, right? To put you in a position where they never ever have to say anything ever again, because, wow, you've picked up that baton and you're gonna run with that, right? And you're gonna tell yourself that you're not good enough, not smart enough, right? That you've got problems, that you're so strange, and right. But yeah, thank you very much. But you contributed to that. You contributed to that recipe, and I am what I am. And the thing is, I did find ways to overcome and to actually be able to see the truth for myself, right? And maybe sometimes it just meant that I didn't surround myself with these kind of people, because, right? Why would I want to? And I probably spent more time on my own than what I really should have. But I'm here, right? And I'm making friends. I'm doing it dynamically, right? I'm overcoming my limiting beliefs. I'm finding balance in that imbalance. But it wasn't like a really, really bad imbalance, because it was just different, but it was referred to and it was labeled that way. And it was referred to and labeled that way. And because it has a definition, right? Go to Wikipedia and you look at imbalance, and it just, right? It just spews it all out. And when it seems to explain things, right? We could take it on as truth. And there's lots of people out there living in untruths, and it's not something to beat ourselves up about, truly, because I lived in untruth for a very, very, very long time. I caused myself a lot of detrimental damage by surrounding myself, right, with that right, that took care of my needs, but at a cost, right? And have wonderful, amazing, heartfelt connections with people who truly, right, didn't, right? And it's heartbreaking, right? It's heartbreaking, but I would much rather realize and know and make some movement on my own than to sit in an untruth and surround myself that who are going to compound that untruth and make me feel even worse about myself, to the point where I can't even have any realizations to make a better life for myself in any way. And there's so many people out there who are not even going to get the chance because they don't even realize. Oh, sorry, I gotta just turn my stove off because I can't overcook my potatoes. I was gonna make some hash browns for dinner, but now again it's too late to have. But I can put these in the fridge. I can put my potatoes in the fridge. There we go. I'm just gonna put some cold water on them. I'll put my potatoes in the fridge, and then I'll make some breakfast. I'll make myself a nice breakfast tomorrow. I have been enjoying my breakfasts lately, and it's getting me through the whole day too, without thinking about eating and food. I'm try just keeping busy. I notice if I just busy, 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 I'm not even thinking about the pink ice donut. I actually bought a puzzle today of a pink ice donut. I hate puzzles. I do not have the patience to sit and do a puzzle. To me, it's just a big waste of time. But there are people out there who right. I'm not denying anybody their pleasure in doing puzzles, right? 100%, because you guys would just as much not want to be sitting in a big pile of dirt digging bottles either, right? Or wandering around fields in the sun all afternoon, metal detecting, right? We all have different interests. And that's part of the balance for ourselves, isn't it? Right? Being able to make sure that we can make those difficult movements in our lives and have those uncomfortable stumbles along the way or heartbreaks, right? Knowing that it's going to come into our life anyway, right? It's coming into our life anyway, that we should be taking those moments for ourselves to actually enjoy, right? And it has been a message, but at the same time, I pushed a little bit harder today and I was able to make a little bit of headway in that. So again, there's something to I think about there. And also, I love the feeling of accomplishment. I love that feeling of getting things done. I love the feeling of walking into my house and the dishes are done and my desk is clean and I can make a cup of coffee and sit and relax, right? Tomorrow I will sit and relax. Today I was holding myself accountable and came in to do my live show. If you haven't seen my next explore, I uploaded a video today of my second or third day. I think it's my third day, but my second camping spot. I think that's what it is. And I uploaded the video. Go and watch it if you like. And yeah, let me know what you think. But that doesn't count as my live. This is my live, right? We're on the topic. We're supposed to be on the topic of balance, right? And in that hurry scurry of today, right? There was a lot of teetering, but I got it all done. The only thing I didn't get done is my thumbnails, and I'm going to work on my thumbnails. I'm going to work on my thumbnails tonight. I have quite a few thumbnails that I need to get done, but I can whip them out a few minutes each, and maybe in a half an hour or an hour I'll have them all done, right? But if I don't get them done, that's okay. I got lots done today, and I don't want to push myself when I've already, right? Crap, maybe that's the idea though. When you make a little bit of headway, that the best thing to do is just to get in and start editing the next video. But I think in that it was it frustration. It was disappointment. That's what it was. That I couldn't figure it out. I wasn't beating myself up because I know I'm not technically inclined anyway. I wasn't beating myself up for not knowing how to do that. But I'm thinking it still needs to get done, right? It still needs to get done. So how do we get it done? I don't have a choice. I need to figure it out, right? So I gave it another shot, and I was quite pleased. But I think tonight, right, we're going to give a little bit of Cindy. It's a little bit of that release. I love to. It's not like I love to, but I think I almost need to. Is when you get to that real high that you need to, right? You have to crash out and level out. Usually it doesn't take more than a day, but then you get right back into it. So yeah, we'll get right back into it. We'll edit some thumbnails. And I know this wasn't great in the past couple of weeks. I wanted to be right on my words, right on those topics. But and then during the day, I'm working on other parts of my brand, and then I'm off to work. And it's not that I'm spreading myself so thin, it's just that I have things that I need to accomplish. So it all has to be slotted out to the best of my ability. And I, right, managed to get it all done. And in the end, I guess that's all that matters, is that I'm making that movement, right? And I'm still smiling. I'm still smiling, right? I think I shed a few tears this morning, right? When I couldn't, or was it this morning? It was last night before I went to bed. I said, Cindy, give it up. You're not going to get this video up, right? Right? Maybe you were just meant to do live shows. I'm thinking, right? Whoever, whatever, doesn't want you to do your adventure videos for your channel. And right, I'm trying to think why things aren't opening up to me, right? So of course I'm in contemplation and I'm hashing things over and everything. And then what happens? It all opens up. It all opens up. Yeah. So we will, right? I'm not going to lose that momentum, right? Maybe tomorrow night when I get home, we'll start the next video, right? Get cracking on the next one. I think I have a few more videos anyway from this trip. It was such a great trip. I'm really happy to be able to share it with everybody. And I'm happy that editing makes it really easy, because I'm just going from sequence to sequence and I'm just splicing them all together, right? But I'm learning in the process. I'm learning in the process. You guys, I'm going to have my coffee. I'm going to get in my pajamas. I'm going to take in a lesson. And then I'm going to work on my YouTube thumbnails. Oh, I got lots of them to do. You guys have a great night, and we'll see each other tomorrow at a decent hour. We'll do an after now, our afternoon one for sure. I'll leave my morning open. We'll find the perfect moment to come in, and right, we'll do a nice live tomorrow, and we'll stay on topic 100%, which is balance. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.